Welcome back to Who Knows Best podcast. I am Cassie Bollinger,
I am Jacqui Duran.
and we're going to talk about the beginning. It's the beginning of a new year. Let's talk about the beginning of our journeys. We've all started this business at some point for some reason, and it's never alike, it's never the same, and all of our journeys are different. And we are just going to kind of get back to the basics. So I'm going to throw it to Jacqui, and we're just going to start from the beginning. Just kind of tell me, like, how did you start? What kind of kit did you get? And how did your journey go? Because you've been in now for 13 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
My Scentiversary is this month. January 20th is my Scentiversary.
Congratulations. I didn't realize it. I honestly forgot it was this month. So I don't think I really knew that to throw it in. But hey, here we go.
Oh, so yeah, okay, so I honestly had never okay, this was in 2012. Well, this was technically in 2011 because I clicked the join button January 20th of 2012. And it was um I'd gotten in touch with an old friend who was friends with me and my ex-husband, and she f- this is gonna date me. I want to say she'd been messaging me on MySpace, but maybe it was Facebook. I honestly don't know. No, it couldn't have been MySpace. That was older. I don't know. Anyway, um,
MySpace or Facebook started in like 2009. So it could have
okay,
been, if it's 2012, it probably was
it probably
Facebook,
was
but it's not the same type of Facebook we have now. It's been a
very
lot
true.
of upgrades.
Lots. And so she had been messaging me, like, just kind of chatting back and forth. And then one day she said, hey, by the way, I started a business, and I'm looking for people to do like a home party for me. And I was like, oh, okay. I could probably do that. And I mean, I'd be happy to help you. Like, I'm always willing to help a friend. And I was like, but what is it? And she was like, oh, it's called Scentsy. And I had never even heard of Scentsy, never heard it, had no, and I was like, okay, can you tell me more? Because I don't know what that is. And she was like, okay, well, it's basically like, she was like, you like candles, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, all right, well, it's a fragrance company. It's wickless candles. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I like that. That sounds cool. Okay, fine. I'll invite a few friends over from work and I'll do a party for you. It's fine. Cool. This was like in October of 2011. And so I did my little home party and all my friends got all excited. She had brought over, at that time, we didn't have a whole lot. We had wax and warmers. There were buddies, but there was no um Scentsy Fresh. There was no laundry line, there was no diffusers, there was no fragrance flowers, there were scent circles and wax and warmers and some buddies. And that was pretty much about it. I think we had our layers line at that time. So I think maybe we had body lotion or something. Or no, we had the perfume. It was a solid perfume stick. And you would like roll it up and like do it on your,
I
like
think I had some layers. I think
uh
someone had given me, and I want to say that I had a little roller
yeah,
stick that was a thing that said layers. But honestly, I looking back now, I didn't even realize that was Scentsy.
that was
I know
sexy.
it's Scentsy because I know the layers line because I had it was the when the dryer discs, it used to be the layers
Yes.
line. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So she had brought that stuff over and my friends loved it too. They thought, well, this is really cool. And of course, after she, did it was the standard home party. We all can picture no matter what the company is, you can picture what a home party is, right? And then at the end, of course, she did the spiel of, if you would like to join you could join my team and make some money and all this. And of course, I was sitting there like, well, not me, but I like what we're doing. I like what we're seeing here. That's awesome.
This is
Um,
fun, but no commitment.
yeah, I'm not in it for them, but I will totally buy from you. I'm here for that. But all my friends were like, "Oh, Jacqui, you should know, totally, you should join because I'll buy from you. I'll buy from you." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. It's not really my thing, but I'll think about it." And so closed out my party. I remember I got my So again, I'd never heard of Scentsy, so I had no Scentsy. So for my host rewards, I got it was one of the bundles and save at the time, and I got a warmer and then I got a 3-pack of bars. And the warmer that I picked out was the Jane warmer. Still have it to this day. I do need to pull it out. It's probably going to look very old school, but I know it's like in my closet buried, but I do want to pull it out. It still was a pretty warmer. I got the Jane warmer, and then Echo was available and in the catalog at that time. And so I got 3 bars of that because it smelled like a man. I still love it to this day. Um, so if that comes back and bring back my bar, just know Jacqui wants that one. And so that's what I got. And I think I ordered like some scent circles because, for like my half price or something. I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend, but I was like, you know what, whatever, it's fine. It's cool. And then, so yeah, so then she would follow up with me as a good consultant does, and she would follow up and be like, hey, could totally join my team. You could totally do this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. And she's like, well, we have like local meetings once a month. You should come with me. You can just come and kind of see what we do. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I could probably do that. And so I went to the little meeting that they had in November. And I went in November. And at that time, who's now my superstar director, Tracy, would run these monthly local meetings. And I mean, people would show up. Like it was like a room full of like 50 consultants, right? And everybody laughing and talking and sharing ideas and and I just remember just sitting there like, this is like so cool. Like everybody's like so nice, but this is like such a cool like thing because Madison was like a year and a half or something at that point. No, like 2 or something at that point. Um, and my older kids were younger, they were still teenagers. And so outside of being a mom and going to work, I had no social life, so I didn't have anything like that. And so I was like, all right, well, this is I like kind of like this whole atmosphere thing. It's kind of cool. And but I was like, she was like, okay, well, it's $99 to join. And I was like, whoa, sorry, honey. This girl does not have $99 to spend. We did not have $99 to spend. We didn't even live paycheck to paycheck at that time. It was paycheck to maybe halfway to the paycheck. And then it was like, let's rub these 2 little nickels together and hope
It's
that that
like the
lasts.
floating of the check, like, "I'm gonna get groceries on Wednesday." By the time that they actually take the check to the grocery store and they deposit it, it normally takes 2 days to process, so we'll have maybe a
Yep,
Tuesday, and we float it
yep.
till Friday, and yep.
Yep. That's how it went. So I was like, "Oh, there's no way that's happening," because first of all, I don't have it. Second of all, if I ask Justin for $99, he's gonna be like, no, we don't have that. No. And so I was like, well, no, no. I didn't want to, just come right out and be like, I don't have the money. But I just told her no. And I was like, but it's really cool. And so then the next month came around, December came around, and she was like, hey, got the local meeting again. Do you want to come? Plus it's our holiday meeting. We always do one for the holidays too. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, it was fun last time. Sure, I'll go again. Went again. Again. I was just like, this is so awesome. And so, yeah, so then got through December, got out after Christmas, and I waited until my first paycheck in January. And I finally told Justin, I was like, I really want to do this because I was like, I don't really know if I'm going to be good at it, but I know I can make the money back because, like, if I sell, I make commission. And so I'll make the money. If nothing else, I'll just make the money back. But when I get paid, is it okay if I spend $99 and I do this? Because I really want to, I want to try. And he was like, all right, fine, fine. But you got to make your money back. Okay, okay. So I waited till my paycheck, and that apparently was on January 20th because that was the night. I remember it was late at night when I did it, and I was just sitting at home and I was like, oh, okay, join. Okay, I did it. Oh my gosh, I just did it. And then I just sat there like, well,
What do I do now?
what do I do? Okay, here we go. And so she messaged me like the next day or something, and she was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be great. You're gonna get your kit and all of this. Okay, great, awesome.
Do
And
you
so I met
remember about how long it took you to get your kit?
it was probably about 2 weeks. It
About
was, I
2
mean,
weeks?
yeah, it was fairly quick. Um, but my kit at that time, I'm sure maybe I have a picture of it somewhere, but my kit was like a warmer, and it wasn't even a cute warmer. It was like one of the classic curve
Herbs?
warmers. Um, and I think I got like 1 or 2 bars. I got a scent pack. I got Ribbert the frog is the Scentsy buddy in there. Um, and I think I got some of the layers, like I said, like a perfume and maybe um either a hand soap or a lotion or something. And a room spray and like a scent circle, and then I got the catalogs, order forms, and then my little consultant starter guide, right? Like that was it. That was it. Oh, and testers, of course, testers, yes. Um, but yeah,
So with the $99 kit back then, did you get all the testers like they have now?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. All of the testers. Um, and yeah, so I got my kit and I opened it all up and I was all excited and I was like, okay. And then it sat on my table because it's like, well, I don't really know
What to do with it?
how to do anything here. And of course I was excited again for the next meeting. So I went to like the next little meeting and I took my little notebook and I was like writing notes and it was so cool. I was so excited. But then I would do nothing. Like I did nothing. And I showed Texas this before we started because I looked it up and I'll show you guys. So that very first month that I was a consultant, obviously I did not even the bare minimum. Um, didn't really do anything at all. Um, let's see, where
Now,
is
before
my,
you show this, can you tell consultants kind of where you're going to find this on your, because some people may
hmm,
not even know, since
I
we're kind of bringing up the old stuff, and there will be an income disclosure at the bottom.
yes. So you go to your workstation, you click on reporting, you go to my performance, and I'm just on my phone. You have more options. I mean, it's easier to do when you're on the desktop version. Um, but my PRV for January 2012 was $25. I sold $25. And let's see, my commission for that $25, if anybody is doing the math, you could,
I
I don't
can. It's 20%.
see 20%, but that was my paycheck, $5.
So after you hit my performance, it is down under commissions history.
Yes,
So
sorry.
everybody, that's okay. That's okay. I didn't mean to stop your story, but I figured if we are going to show something, we might as well tell them where it's at because I'll get questions. So,
And you can also run in the reporting tab, you can go to what we call the bar report, but it's the business analysis report. And you can see again, it really shows
the
everything.
synopsis, it's basically
Yeah,
just everything in one spreadsheet kind of
yeah,
thing.
it's really
Okay,
great.
so you went through your first month in 2012.
Obviously, I did amazing, right?
Hey,
Killed it.
$25
Killed it.
probably was some wax, or maybe it was a warmer.
It might have just been
It might have just been a warmer. Hey, but you know what? That was your first month,
it
and you were
was.
just rocking it out, right?
Oh, as you can imagine, right? Because like I'm a rock star when it comes to that. So to compare that, February, the next month, so my first full month, as a consultant, my PRV was $153.62. Totally rocking it out.
Hey,
Okay. So did not hit shooting star.
so I was going to ask if they had the incentives because I know that
Yes.
they haven't been around forever, but they've been around a while now.
Yeah.
Okay,
They did
so
have shooting star. They did have sensational start. I did not earn either one. Didn't even get close. Um, but I think it was, and I could look it up if I had my bar or whatever. But it was like that next month, I actually had like 2 friends join my team. So I instantly had a team. And I was like, oh my gosh,
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. So how am I supposed to tell them what to do? So that's how I started off. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I mean, it didn't get much better after
So
that was
let's go back.
probably
So when you wanted to join, it was all about the community.
yeah, it
You
really
weren't
was.
trying to get rich quick. It wasn't like, "Ooh, I'm gonna make bukus of money." You
Mm-mm.
saw the community first
Yes.
and was like, "I want to be a part of this."
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, stupid. Sorry, the dogs are
Well, because
having
everybody,
a house.
everybody joins for different reasons. And the
Yeah.
reason I ask is because, because mine's a totally different story. I want you to finish yours, but I just kind of wanted to know. So, what it was sounding like to me and probably to everybody listening was that it was more or less the community that
It was.
kind of like, this is kind of cool. You don't have much of a life being a mom
Yeah.
and working full time, and especially when you have littles and,
Yes.
they need more attention.
Yeah, and it really gave me something to do because, I would come home from work and my job at that time wasn't exciting either, and, so I would come home from work and I would just jump on the workstation, and then we had a Facebook group, of course, for the team, and, I would get in there and I would chat, and again, it was more community and it was more, "What can I do today?" It gave me something to do,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Um, Boys. They don't understand what I'm doing over here.
The boys that she's yelling at are fur babies, just, FYI, in case
Yeah,
anybody's
they're
wondering
not
why she's yelling
children.
at the boys. She's just a yeller.
Hero and Nacho. And so, yeah, so it was all about community. It was all about just giving me something that didn't involve being a mom, didn't involve going to work, didn't involve doing the house cleaning or making dinner and all the things. And, I just got really invested in that. And unfortunately, the relationship that I had with my sponsor turned very toxic. And it just, that part really, it was a really tough spot for me to be in because, like you said, I mean, I joined for the community. That was the main reason. And then, of course, I love the product, and that was this, secondary reason. But it really tainted it for me because I was like, but this is why I joined was to
Was because of
have
her.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
it was to have all of this, and it just became very toxic, and so I, almost quit a handful of times, but I was probably after about the first year, it just continued to not be a good spot. I still had other friends, of course, within the team and the group, and all of that was great. And I remember having a conversation with Tracy, my superstar director at the time, it still is. And I remember just telling her because she knew, we were close and she lives local. She knew that my sponsor and I just did not
Yes.
have that connection.
Yep.
And she was like, Jacqui, I want you to really, she goes, I understand. And of course, this is your decision to make. If you really want to just stop and walk away, then I mean, by all means, do what you need to do because I don't want you to feel like you're in a bad position and I don't want you to have that bad feeling about Scentsy. She goes, but I really want you to think and say, am I doing this for somebody else or am I doing this for myself? And I was like, well, you are very correct. Sorry. Madison. Now I'm yelling at the child to come get the dogs. Um, and so I was like, okay. She goes, don't let anyone else steal your joy. You're right. You're right. You're right. And she had also told me at the time, and still to this day, I remember it. She's like, Jacqui, you don't have to do this. You don't need your sponsor to do this. You don't need your sponsor. You can do everything that you're doing in your business. You don't have to have that excellent relationship. That's not going to determine what you do in this business. And I was like, okay. Okay. All right. So she goes, so take that out of the equation. You can always come to me if you have questions, if you need anything, I am here to help you, but just know you're doing great on your own. And by that time I was like, okay, all right,
So what do you think
let's
after a year? Because you had a couple people sign up that was just kind of out of the blue.
Mhm.
How big do you think your team was after a year?
Honestly, I had like 12 team members at that point in time. I was a lead consultant, um, and I was getting paid a title. Um, and I enjoyed the aspect of having the team. For me, that was it was something I just really, really enjoyed. And it always has still to this day, that's been my flow. I love that concept. I love helping others. I love doing that piece of it and creating things for people. And I love that piece. I still do to this day. Um, and so I was like, all right. And she was like, lean into what you're good at, what you want to do. Decide what you want to do with this business. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And that's when I started my YouTube channel. And I got on and I was like, okay, I need to expand my community. That's what I need to do, right? If I don't have to have my sponsor, very true, very true. But I need to look to see and find other people that I can connect with. So I got on YouTube. I saw Kimberly Polito, I saw Christina Stainbrook. Um, I don't know if Chloe was on at that time or not. I cannot remember specifically if she was. I don't know if I watched her back then. Katie Farner was one that I watched back then. It was mainly those three. They would put out a lot of training videos during that time. Um, and I was like, oh, I really just felt a good connection with them just from their YouTube videos. I didn't know them. And so that's what I would do. And I was like, all right, I want to help people as well. So let me do what I'm doing and let me share that on YouTube. And if you look back on my YouTube, yeah, it's trust me, I didn't start out like with this great YouTube channel. I had no idea how to do YouTube. I had to Google how to upload to YouTube, had no idea how to do it. Um, I had my phone. I didn't even have like a phone holder. I would prop my phone up with like a rubber band around like whatever happened to be like sitting on my desk. Or actually, I didn't have a desk. It was on the nightstand, the dresser in our room, and we didn't have ring lights back then. Well, maybe we did, but I didn't know about them. So it was just like the lighting in the room, and so of course, like the only light where the nightstand was like right above my head, and so it would like totally wash out. It's horrible. It's horrible. I look back at these and I'm like, oh my God, people watch this? Like,
Hey,
okay.
when people are talking, that's why I tell people all the time, it's like, just do it. Like, it doesn't matter. You'll get better at it because you'll figure out what works. You'll figure out what connects to other people. And not everybody starts in a studio. Like you're not, everybody doesn't just be like, I'm going to start this business and I have to have a studio and I have to have this display area and I have to have this and that. It's stuff that you get to. It's just a growth.
Right.
Like you have to get there because if you don't stumble and fall, you can't be expected to run. You have to figure out the small steps because you had a team and you looked for training and then you realized, you know what? I can do that too and I want to help my team and
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah. And I mean, that's a good point too, because I didn't have a desk. I certainly didn't have an office. Um, we lived in a two-bedroom duplex and there really wasn't any room. So my office, which I still have it to this day, is one of those little roll around like three-drawer plastic containers, right? And it's still, I mean, it's still here in my office. I need to clean it out. But that back then, that was my office. And so when I would work my business, it was usually on the couch with my laptop, and I would sit there with my laptop and I'd pull my little cart over. So I'd have all my little business stuff with my labels, and I didn't have a printer. And so I mean, I can say this because I don't work there anymore, but I would go to work and I would make labels on the computer and print them because I worked at a hospital, right? So we already had like patient labels, right? So I'd print them out and I'd be like, look, now I have my labels. Everything else beyond that was always a handwritten thing.
I was about to say, Jacqui, if you've never seen Jacqui write anything, because there's a lot of times when she does lives that she uploads and she writes on the back of like each month. And this woman is like a calligraphy artist when she likes to just draw. And then what she does digitally is also just as amazing. So don't think that someone else does this for her. Jackie's amazing. She's like, she writes the big letters and then puts the small ones in the middle. And I'm like, how'd you do that? I'm trying to mimic, and it looks like chicken scratch and somebody threw up in the middle of it. And I'm like, I don't even know how she did that. So I could definitely see you doing some
Yeah.
handwritten stuff.
So whenever I did samples, I would just get some, I don't even know what labels I had at the time, because again, I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend for business stuff. But I would just, actually, it was probably just address labels, but I remember cutting them, and then I would just handwrite whatever the little scent was and put it on the little envelope, and then I'd staple it, because at work they had a stapler. So staple it to the little flyer, and that's how I would hand out and mail out my samples and stuff, because yeah, I didn't have anything. Um, and so I really just focused on me and my team and helping other people, and I leaned into the YouTube, and along the way I had people who would just start, and I wasn't even actively, people ask me this a whole lot. They'll be like, how do you get people who join you from you? Because I would get, that's how I earned annual mentor, is people would just join, that I had no idea. I would just get an email and so has joined your team. And I'm like, I have no idea this
Yep.
person. Because I hadn't had a conversation with them. I didn't know them. They lived in a way off different
Do you
state.
not know that we have a whole community called the Duraniacs,
Duran.
the Duraniacs, because it's Jacqui Duran. But anyways, it was Duraniacs, and we stalk you. Like there is a thing. Now I'm not saying I have stalked her, but all beside the point, because you inspire so many people on those videos. And even though I can say this, I have probably heard so many different people talk about, you know, recruiting, and so many people talk about like PRV and parties and stuff. And you can hear the same information 10 different ways and get 10 different aha moments from each of those people.
Yes.
So even though Jacqui was watching it and then she was like, okay, she always puts her own spin on everything.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're saying. You just need to say it, because it's going to hit and connect with somebody somewhere.
Well, and here's the other thing too, is that, like I said, I wouldn't get on YouTube and be like, you should join my team today. All of my YouTube was specifically talking what I thought was to be other consultants, right?
Right.
And it wasn't like I had grand ideas. I literally would just, I was very consistent. Every Monday, I would get on and I would do my little YouTube. And all I would do, the only thing that I would do is I would just tell them, here's what I'm working on this week. And some weeks it was samples, some weeks it was, hey, I got an order and I need to package this stuff up. So let me show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make this little cute tag to put on it, or it was Christmas, here, let me dress up a little scent circle. It's going to look so cute. Here, let's do this. And so that's what it was. It was just me sharing how I'm working my business this week. It wasn't, oh my gosh, how is she doing that? Oh my gosh, that's an amazing idea. It wasn't Canva templates. It wasn't any, it was just me showing how I was working. And I think that's what connected to people, because obviously the people who were joining me, they saw, oh, well, it doesn't have to be all of
Grandioso. It
this.
doesn't have to
Yeah,
be, you don't have to go out and
could
spend
do that.
$10,000 on packaging and all this material. We've all started when our business, we worked with what we had. And
Yes,
then as we made money, we were like, "Oh, I can upgrade to these type of labels." And,
right.
"Ooh, I found someone, if this worked for them, maybe I'm gonna try it this way." Because like, I don't even use individual labels anymore. I use, Melissa Gratz had said in one of her trainings that she just
Mhm.
uses one full solid sheet, the whole page printer, paper like
Sticker
label.
paper.
One, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be for a shipping label, but she
Mhm.
uses that, so that way you don't ever have to worry about what size you have, whatever, and then she just cuts around it like little shapes, and that was her stickers. And I'm like, I spend so much time being like, "Oh, which Avery label is this? I
Yes.
gotta do,"
How do
and
I
so
line this up?
yeah, now I don't have to, I don't care if there's nothing to line up with at all. There's nothing. It just prints. I cut it out. I either cut them in squares or circles or whatever. Now I haven't really done the fun shapes, but like,
Yeah,
you just work with what you have.
you do. And so yeah, I grew a team. Um, I grew a team. And I mean, honestly, I've never, I think anybody who knows any part about me, I am not top sales. I am not the person who is rolling in the PRV every month. I work in my business every month, yes, but I just for me, maybe it all goes back to the community piece, right? Like that's why I joined. That's what I enjoy. That's what I love to continue to do is helping other people, meeting other people, having that community and sharing it. And so here we are 13 years later.
Yeah.
I'm a star director. I am not currently getting paid at star director title because I do only have one director currently. Um, Waxy Cats. Um, and she has a really great team, and obviously does fabulous, amazing things. Um, but I think that if I just continue doing what I'm doing, I will have the success that I'm meant to have. And I enjoy what I do. It's still my happy place 13 years later, and it's still my happy place. Even though I love my job now, I do love my job. Back then I hated the job. I still love my job. But when I come home, I still am excited to sit down and go, okay, what can I do for the next 45 minutes to an hour before I need to start cooking dinner? And maybe it's answering emails. Maybe it's actually looking at Facebook because I haven't had time to do that today. So let me answer some messages. Let me check in on my team. Oh, I should maybe do this. Oh, maybe I've got time to record a quick training or something and do it. And so I'm leaning into what I love and just being comfortable and happy with that, right? Like it's time to just be happy with where we are and what we want and enjoy rather than stress
Yes.
and
Well, and
yeah.
I think we're in a different time now. With after 2020 happened, I think we've almost been as a like we want to react to everything because there's so much stuff that was going
Yeah.
on. And now we're taking a time because there's nothing to react to right now. It's more or less is now we're taking in everything that we've seen and heard, and it's like we're breathing again without having to. I know that's like really weird analogy I'm using, but
Oh,
but
it's a good one.
we're breathing in differently because we aren't at that state of what's going to happen next. Like,
Right.
is this going to get worse? Is it going to get better? And it's these last 4 years. I mean, because I'll be hitting 5 years in May, so it's like I can't believe I'm saying that. It's 5 years in
I
May.
know, right? Like it's crazy.
Oh,
Like you look back and you're like, "Oh my gosh."
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
So there's my journey in a nutshell. Lots of ups and downs. It was not a straight line. It didn't come easy. It didn't happen overnight. This
Well, and
is
it's you have to look at this business aspect as a journey, as a marathon. This is not a fast, 100-yard dash. This is not like who's going to get there first and then we just stop. It is more or less is that it has a pace, and so you can almost think of it as more of like a cross country. It's going to have ups, it's going to have downs. Sometimes you stop, sometimes you have to go a different path, and you are constantly learning as you go through of what works because what works today may
Mhm.
not work tomorrow, and what worked a year ago may definitely not be working now. And that kind of brings me to my story, because
Yes.
I started in May. I signed up on May 17th of 2020, but my journey with Scentsy started years before because it was before my daughter was born.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
Amber was born in 2005. Now, the company was not very big, and I don't know because I had to think back of when I had my first Scentsy and when I got like which house I lived at because I moved a lot. I moved a lot. Um, and I remember my sister-in-law, I want to say it was my sister-in-law or it was a friend of my sister-in-law was having a party, and she brought stuff over to my apartment. And I went through and smelt some stuff, and I got a and I don't know which one came first because there's 3 warmers that I have that are
Chicken or the egg?
yeah, it's very old, I can't remember which one, but mine was the one with the horseshoe.
Oh,
Um,
I wanted to say Lone Star, but I don't think that's right.
that's not it. Oh my gosh, I went blank. I had it.
Can picture it.
Almost went into let me see if I can find Wrangler, the Wrangler cowboy. So
Ah,
it's a horseshoe and a star, and I had and The only reason that I remember that this was Scentsy, because, and again, all I know is it was either right, because she was born in, it had to have been before, so the company was not very old. It was only started in 2004. Now,
Yeah.
unless I'm just off on my time, then it could be just a little bit later, but it had to be in the very early stages, because the girl, when she brought over testers, they were huge. And there
Yes.
was very limited warmers. And I wanna say I got that Wrangler Cowboy, but I also got a mini one at some point, and then I got the OU Collegiate warmer. So those 3 warmers I have had forever. So which one came first? I don't know. I can see the mini one up there, and I know the other horseshoe, like, the old ones I have sitting up at the top, because any of the warmers I've used that I'm not, like, using,
Yeah.
I've put them up on my shelf to kinda, because I didn't have boxes and I didn't wanna pack them away, because it's not ones I'm gonna display out. So I had used Scentsy before, and I had definitely been one of those that it takes too long to order. I don't wanna have to wait for it to come in. I'm just gonna go get whatever I can get. Now, I was a candle person, a huge candle
Ah,
person. I loved candles, and what I would do is, somebody had taught me early on, is that when you get the candles down at the bottom, what you can do is you can kinda scrape all your wax out and put them back in there, and then put them on the lowest setting on your oven or on your stove, and let them melt the rest of them down, and it would still release it. So I had done that. I can't tell you how many hodgepodge little containers that I had thrown extra waxes into, that I didn't use the flame, because my children would touch the flame. They wanted
yes,
to
that's my
play
big thing
with
too.
the
Yeah.
fire, and so I would warm it on my stove, kind of like people do the
Yeah.
potpourri. And
Yes.
I had to make sure I watched it, because, of course, it couldn't get too hot. It couldn't get, there's a whole bunch of stuff behind it. So do not do that at all. But I remember, and whenever I would find or remember, I'm like, "Oh, I probably need to get some wax." I started doing that, and I would get the cheapy stuff. And
Yeah.
then but I never knew to take the wax out, because no one ever told me that. So I would put wax in, and the cheaper stuff would dissolve, like, some of it would, I guess, evaporate in a way, because I could keep putting more in, and it just stayed on. And I would just keep putting more in and more in and more in, until it got really, really full, and then I'd scrape it out and I would start over again. And
Mm.
it was always cheapy, because it never lasted longer than a couple of hours. Um, in 2020, in 2019, I quit my corporate job, and I was going to work for myself, and I was a process server. And the week of spring break, I was going to clean out the garage. And when I cleaned out my garage, I had seen my warmer, and I had 2 bars of wax from, I don't remember where I got it or who I got it from. I had some wax
Scentsy
on
wax?
Scentsy wax. Some of it had leaked out. Of course, it was the red. It's always the red stuff that always sweats. And I still have the container it was in, because it was on the bottom, and that whole container just smells amazing still. But I found it, and I was like, you know what? I found my warmers. I think I'm gonna put some warmers up. And I was like, but I know I want the Scentsy wax. Like, that was the kind of thing. So
Mhm.
I posted on Facebook in March of, like, does anybody know who sells Scentsy? Like, I had gone
Oh,
to Scentsy.com, and I had put in my zip code, and I'm just kind of like, nothing on their profiles blew me away. And I was like, if I'm gonna help someone, I'm gonna help someone that I know, or someone who knows of somebody, just,
oh,
I want to help local. I want to help at least a friend of a friend, or however many degrees of separation.
mhm.
And I got a response back from one of the guys I went to high school with, that his girlfriend at the time was a Scentsy consultant. And I was like, cool. I hadn't talked to him in a while. We just kind of, like, rekindled a friendship. And I bought like a 6 pack of wax, because then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get I might as well get the 6 pack, because one was $6. And then if you buy 5, you get one free. Like, it got me, because I was like, okay, I need the wax. Okay, it's $30. I can do the $30. I can get the wax. And then I was like, do I order it from you? Do I order from the website? And she's like, I have some here. I'm going to bring it down to you. And I didn't know where she lived.
Mhm.
Didn't realize she drove an hour to get to me to bring it. It's like
Oh,
it's a 47-minute drive, 45, something like that. It's a distance. She dropped it off, and I literally opened the door, and it had a little catalog with it. And I was like, thanks. And I shut the door. Like, she dropped it off, cool beans, like, bye-bye. Like, it wasn't, I didn't know what she expected. I didn't really know her, and it, like, little weird.
Yeah.
Um, and she had, and this was March of 2020. So after everything shut down, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I started posting on Facebook of like, does anybody know of anybody who's hiring? Because as a process server, you work with the courts, and with the courts shut down,
Oh,
you can't serve papers if the court's not there. So we lost our jobs. I mean, they essentially sent out saying as soon as the court's open, we'll call you back up, and we'll start up again. But there's nothing when you work for yourself. There's no
there's nothing to fall
vacation.
back on.
There's no vacation. There's no saved up money because I had just started in October of 2019. I hadn't even
Oh,
fully built up. Like, it was something very new. I was very scared. I had sent out applications, and um she kept messaging me asking me if I wanted to join, and I'm like, "No, I don't have $99. Like, we are now broke. I don't have a job." I'm like, "There's no way we can afford $99." And in the month of May, they had a $20 join special.
ah,
And I was like, "What?" Like, I think I finally, it really was to the point where I was like, "I'm just gonna sign up to have her shut up." Like, that, I think that in the back of my mind was, "It's $20." It was our last $20. I was like, "But maybe she'll stop bugging me." And now again, no, she wasn't messaging every day. It wasn't like a
right.
complete beratement, but I always feel bad say no to people, especially since I'm the one who contacted her because I wanted wax. And now she's trying to offer me this thing, and I'm like, "I don't know how to tell you no." So I didn't tell her no. I finally said yes. Signed up on the 17th. So officially, it's 15 days from when you start. So that first day technically isn't your first day. It is, but it's 14 days, but it's 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it shows in here that I signed up on the 17th. I started my Facebook group on the 27th of May.
Aw.
Of course, I can't look at the individual orders unless I went back really, really far. But I remember that the day that I got my kit, because everything was running slower, it
Yeah.
took them almost 2 weeks for me to get my kit, and I was like, "If I don't know if I'm gonna do this." I just, like she was like, "Just message people and just let them know that you started your business. Like,
Mhm.
just tell everybody. You're not having to ask for orders." She even gave me, like, this little script thing, and I was like I said, "You know what? If I'm going to do this, because I had done other direct sales, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to fully invest in what she says, and I'm gonna do
Mhm.
every single thing, and I'm not gonna second guess myself. I'm just gonna do what I'm told, and I'm gonna see if this works." Because I told her, if it's free for 3 months, I give you 3 months. If I do not make as much as the monthly, um, the monthly,
Website or the PWS.
yeah, the PWS fee, if I don't make as much of that, then I'm gonna quit. I'm just letting you know, I don't want anything, any harassment or any messages about, like, you need to stay. So that's what I promised her. I said, as long as I'm making more, and my promise is still going today, I still make more than what my PWS is, and so I will stay with Scentsy until I don't make enough to pay the PWS. Like, that's my bottom line. Like,
There
that
you
was what my goal was, is that at least this was something to bide my time, hopefully to get at least a paycheck, because it was later in the month. So I was like, "Okay, we get
go.
paid on the 9th, in the United States. It's the 10th in Australia, right?
Yeah,
10th in
'cause
Australia.
they're a
Yeah,
day. I mean,
yeah.
technically, our payday is the 10th, but because Australia is a day ahead, that's why we
We get it
technically
on the 9th.
get it on
So
the 9th. Yeah.
right. So I was like, I'm good, because that'll give me about 2 more weeks, and I'll do it. So when I started my Facebook group, that was the first time I publicly went out on Facebook, and I did my opening of my video. And I've posted the video a couple times on my YouTube. I've posted it a couple times on my Facebook, because the video was absolutely horrendous. Like, I look back now, I was like, "What was I doing? Like, what am I was like, "I don't know." Like, I was like, I don't know that, yeah, that's there. Uh-huh. So that's what I got. Like, that was it. Like, I didn't know what to do, but I did it because she had told me when my kit came in, the day it came in, she goes, "Go live." And I'm like, my hair, I hadn't taken a shower in like 2 days because I hadn't left the house in a month. Like, this is 3 months of me, of, like, I've been looking for a job. I've been doing, like, I was crafting and doing stuff, and like, doing knickknacks and offering to clean people's houses because I needed some money. Like, I was definitely not anywhere camera ready. It's so funny now. 'cause I look at all my videos and it's so fun. Um, but when I decided to just listen to her, I had sent all those messages out, but my kid still wasn't here. When I started the Facebook group was because when I started looking at myself, now I had this one party open. I only had one, and it was starting to accumulate quite a bit. But of
Mhm.
course, it hadn't posted because I was going to wait until I could close the party. So all my sponsor could see was what had actually gone through online. So there was quite a few people that had said yes, and they went ahead and ordered online because they were not local to me. Others that were local, I mean, I did a pretty good 45-mile radius. It was we're talking a pretty
Wow.
good chunk of people um, that I would drive to that I would take these orders. And so as the orders started to accumulate, I had I'd hit 200. And I think after I hit the 200 just in orders online and not including the stuff I had sitting there in that party, I decided that I was going to start a Facebook group because I was afraid to post on Facebook. I was afraid that people would be
Mhm.
like, "Oh my gosh, just another she's doing another one," because I had done direct sales before.
Yeah.
Um and I was like, "You know what? I'd done a group before, but it's normally just parties. I never had like a solid group."
Yes.
And I was like, "Okay, I'm going to do this." So 27th is really whenever I pushed and was really online and started this Facebook group, did everything else. My sponsor again could not see when I closed out this party. And she could see about 400 and something because she's like, "Oh, if you get to 500, this will be shooting star. If you get to 1,000, then you'll be a certified consultant. So it goes from 20% to 25." And I'm like, I'm all for that. I
Right.
closed out that month. My 14th day was May 1st. Or I'm sorry, June was
Dude.
June 2nd. June 2nd was my actual end of my shooting star. But I was like, I needed to get it done before. Like I knew I needed to have it done. Um, I closed out that month with $1,582 in sales. She did not see that until it updated at 1 a.m. Central Standard Time
Oh, no.
because it was more or less, I wanted to surprise her. If I had known, because this was something that we did not know, her and I did not know, 2,000 a month gives you the 5% bonus. If I had known, I would have pushed for another 400 because I was getting a lot. I mean, it was just, I would tell people I'm a Scentsy consultant. I could make their house smell amazing. They've
Yeah.
been in the home for like 2 months. People were wanting everything to smell great because now they realize what their house smelled like being in
Yeah.
there all the time. That was May, so my commission was $395.61 for that first month, for that $20 join kit that I had done.
Did it
I
surprise you?
I honestly nearly shit myself. Like, I will say that I couldn't believe what my paycheck was gonna be, because it doesn't tell you until after commissions run. So I didn't know until I hit, until
Mhm.
June 9th, that what my actual commission was, and I sat there and stared at it like, "Is that for 1 month?" Like,
I know. I remember my first, like, I call it an actual check because, y'all saw what my first check was $5. But
$5.
I do remember, like, my first, like, 400, $500 Scentsy check, and I was like,
Yeah, like,
"My
this was
gosh."
from Scentsy, like,
Yeah.
it really blew me away, and so that was my first one. So I did hit shooting star. I hit sensational start level 3 in 42 days. So they give you 70 because my June 20 commissions was 4,058, $4,000.58. My July commission, I mean, sorry, not commissions, my
Oh, I
PRV.
was like, "That's a
Sorry.
good check,
No,
honey."
sorry. So my June PRV, sorry, I was like, "Well, that's a lot." No, my June PRV was $4,058.75.
Oh
So
my
my
goodness.
commission was $1,217 in my 2nd month, because when I found out that 2,000 you got an extra bonus, I'm like, "Why are we stopping at 1,000 or whatever?" Like, I was pushing for the high I'm like, "I'm pushing. Like, I'm
Mhm.
gonna get this as high as I can get it."
Yeah.
July rolls around and I'm at 3,318 with a paycheck of 1,193. So I had not had anybody on my team in May. I didn't have
Mhm.
anybody on my team for June commissions. I take it back. In June, I did have a reinstatement, so they weren't new.
Okay.
They didn't get active. So I did have a teamie, but because they didn't get active, I didn't move up.
So you're making this money, and again, and
Certified as a
income is
certified
fun,
consultant.
as a certified consultant. You don't have to have a team to
You do
make
not
money.
have to have a team. Like 4,000 a month. So 4,000 was $1,217.63. Like that is what you can do by yourself.
Mhm.
No team, no anything. Now July was something different. In July, I had a team of 5.
Oh my goodness.
So 4 of them were active. I grew very fast because at this point I hit star consultant. So there was no month I was just a lead.
Mhm.
There I hit certified consultant, then I jumped up to star.
Wow.
And then in August, I was a superstar. I only had 2,000 or 2,800 that month in PRV.
Only.
Only, hold on.
Right.
But I had that 4,000 month and that 3,000 month. So you would expect me to do more. I didn't do as much, but because I now had a team and I had 6 active, my paycheck was 13.15. So when I went back and started looking at numbers, I'm a numbers person, I'm
Mhm.
statistics. I'm like, give me the numbers and prove it to me that it works. I realized that I could do less if I could teach others to do what I was doing. I'm not asking anybody, I've never asked anybody to do more than what I could do.
Mhm.
I was just trying to teach them what this is what I'm doing. This is what's working for me. Here
Yeah.
you go. And all of my videos, I never uploaded them to YouTube. I did them on I had a team Facebook because the minute I had teamies, I created my own group.
Yeah.
I did not have locals. I don't have anybody that's near me that does local meetings,
Mhm.
monthly, yearly, whatever. I go to World Tour and I go to SFR. Now, I have gotten into H Town Showdown and there has been a couple there was another one that was like a can't remember if it's February or March or April.
Oh, yeah, like,
It's Harvest something. Oh, well, maybe it's in maybe no, maybe it was September. I think it was Harvest something, and it was done by my 3rd generation SSD. So I don't have I did all of this with a sponsor who had never done more than like 1,200 a month. She didn't understand like she was still really new to the
Mhm.
business. She'd been doing it for about a year. She didn't have a lot of information from her upline. So
Mhm.
it was kind of like we didn't know there was communities at
Mhm.
all. We didn't know. We were just doing it ourselves. We were doing our own trainings and we were watching the end of the months and we were in some of the Facebook groups of like, "Hey, this is what I saw today. Hey, I was YouTubing every day for 5 to 10 hours trying to find information because we didn't have a place to pool.
Right.
I started stalking, I will say this, Jacqui Duran, Chloe Cox,
Yes.
um, Jennifer
Oh, yes.
Jennifer I wanna say it's not Jennifer Aniston, but it's Jennifer why am I
Anderson.
Anderson. I was like, "It's not Aniston." I did not find my friends online. No, I'm just kidding. So I would start searching for anybody who ever talked about any SSD or any training. I was Googling or even searching through you or Facebook and YouTube for Scentsy consultants that were doing what I was doing to
Yeah.
find out how to do it better. Like, I freaked out because I didn't have anybody I was wanting to hit sensational start, and that's the only reason is I had so many people join and hit active, but I did not get them like, they didn't help me with sensational start
Yeah.
because I got them after my 90 days is when they all came in. I did all of my sensational start level 1, 2, and 3 by myself.
Straight PRV.
6,000. It was straight PRV. I did it with so many days left over. I was like, when is this going to process? Like, when we process this, I have to wait for the end of my 70 days, but I already did it. It's already said complete. It says complete. I want, like I want to be acknowledged because I did it early. I was, it was more or less is that I had to wait because it didn't take me as long.
Mm.
In September of 2020, I hit director with 7 people active and 3,700 in PRV and $1,900 paycheck. And I was like,
So
I was
from May to wait a minute, you said September?
yes, September. So
So from May to September,
yeah,
you grew to
yeah,
director.
yeah.
That's
So I had
insane.
now when we go back to August, my does it show me where my GWB is at?
I know. I was like, damn it, I should
Mine.
have prepared better.
Yeah, I gotta look at but there was it August? No, maybe it was September. Yeah, so September I barely made it. Like it was one of those, and we were really close. We were close in September, but I didn't realize what that meant. Does that make sense?
Did
Like
you know that you were about to hit director? Like, were you
I don't think so. We didn't hit like when I in September commission. So
uh
that means at the end of September is 31 days. I want to say I was on director's watch for like a week and a half because we thought we were going to get close and we thought we were going to get close and we thought we had calculated what PRV we needed, but
Oh.
we didn't have the combination that was correct. And
Mhm.
so we were putting in the stuff, but the GWV wasn't getting there. We're like, we're not understanding like why, like we knew we needed this, and they're showing me screenshots of their PRV so I could calculate in because of course it takes every hour it updates. And of course, when you get to the end of the month, especially on the last day of the month,
Yeah.
it doesn't always update as quickly as you would like because everybody's putting their orders in, everybody's finishing out their month. There's a lot of people that are
Everybody
closed.
else is looking at their numbers.
So I
Yes.
was up until 2 AM to make sure that it completely processed through because I think all night it wasn't updating the last bit and I was freaking out. So we were like, I had another order that came in late from someone because I was still posting, I was still going live, I was still doing all the things on Facebook.
Wow.
And like we had 10,377 in GWB.
Wow.
Like it was when I say it was to the wire, it was to the wire. Um, but my journey, so I did all the things, like at annual sales in the
Yeah.
first 2 years. Um, and I can honestly say the first year was so easy. I say
Mhm.
that because everything started it started in May, so I had a full year. I mean, like, so
Yeah.
it wasn't I may have started not in a calendar year, but I started with Scentssy's fiscal year, um, short, like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
But I hit it. And the next year, don't get me wrong, it was hard. I
Yeah.
lost my director title, so I grew so fast. Again, I hit director with how many teamies did I say I had?
Was it six,
Um,
seven,
7 active.
seven?
7 active. I don't know how many teamies total. Um, but it was not an easy journey because at the same time that all of this is happening, I kind of surpassed my sponsor
Mhm.
in the fact of that I was growing so fast, and because I had director numbers, it was moving her group up as well. Like
Mhm.
that whole way, those couple of months before, she had hit director, and then I hit director. So basically, I was her first blue. And so if you don't know
Mhm.
what the blue person is, it's the first time when you are a director to have a director underneath of you. It's a
Yeah,
very exciting moment.
it is.
Um, and but I didn't know how to maintain because
Yeah.
we were all working so hard. So I want to say honestly, there was a total team of 12. I
Yeah.
want to say that I was like 12 or 15. It was under 20, and we hit director 2 months in a row with that many people. All of my team at that point, anybody who was actually working their business, like so I had people that did 0, and then I had people that were doing that hit sensational start and had shooting star. All of them hit shooting star. The first
Wow.
10 people I had that were brand new hit shooting star. And
It's
all of
amazing.
them hit at least one level of sensational start because I was, we're doing this. We're doing this. We got this. We got this. Like every day. Like this was an everyday thing. The problem with doing that is you cannot maintain that.
Yeah,
That
that's a
level of
big
excitement.
commitment.
When
Yeah,
you
that's a
start
big
off
commitment.
brand new, everything is exciting, like, "I got an order today," and you're excited and you jump around and, like, literally are jumping around or like, "Ooh, ooh, 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 I sold a bar of wax." Like, you are excited for everything. Someone wants a bulb, heck yeah, bulb on there, like, everything's exciting. And so because it's all new. And that's why they do the shooting star and they do that sensational start level 1, 2, and 3 because it's so exciting in the beginning. And it is, trust me. I mean, like, you get a rush that doesn't compare. So when the rush is no longer there and there's no longer any like little goals to go through,
Right.
it's
There's
the
no more
hardest thing ever.
sensational start. There's
No
no more
one's excited
starting.
because I hit 500 this month
Yeah,
because I
right.
hit 500 because that means I'm half, that was a, shooting star. I hit 500. That was the most exciting thing because they got excited.
Mhm,
And when I lost my title, it was the same thing of like, no one's excited that
mhm.
I had 2,000 or 3,000 in sales because I
Yeah.
didn't hit director numbers. And my sponsor and I had a falling out.
Mhm.
Um, because I needed a partner in crime. I needed to collab. I needed to be able to exchange ideas and have someone to talk to about my business because there was nobody else that we knew of. We literally were having to search lineage in our Scentsy thing to find someone above whoever's above there and above there and above there who would have a conversation with us.
Mm.
And we had seen something on one of the Facebook groups that there was an opening for 2021 in Branson for a virtual SFR.
Yeah, because we
And
were still on lockdown, so there was no
so,
SFR.
yeah, they were going to do it virtual and they were very excited to do it virtual. So the first year I was by myself in my office watching someone do training, but I already watched 5 to 10 hours a day of YouTube trainings and I'm like,
What's different about this?
okay, cool. Let me go to the bathroom. Let me pause this for a minute. I'll go in the other room and oh, you know what? I'm gonna watch a show real quick. And life happened because I'm just like, how is this exciting? Like, how
Yeah.
would the people sit through this?
Mhm.
You lose the with any kind of a virtual stuff, you lose the excitement, the the anticipation, the the joy of seeing people you haven't seen in a while, hugging each other's necks and having that. And I didn't understand that until I went to Branson and I was meeting all of these people I didn't know.
Yeah.
Staying overnight with people like we drove 8, 9 hours to Branson.
Yeah.
Straight through. Straight maybe it was 7 hours, 7 hours. I think we stopped once, but I slept. I told him, "I'm taking some Benadryl because I get car sick. I will sleep. You guys just drive. Do you, boo. I don't, whatever." I get there, and in the living room is the Jacqui Duran on the couch, just in her glory. Like, seriously, it was like you don't walk into a house and see a superstar sitting on the couch and think like,
Oh, please.
what do I say? Like, we gotta keep it cool because we want the cool kids to like us. And I'm like and they're like, "You guys are" I can't remember what was said because it was something that kinda pushed me off of, like, I don't wanna be here. And it wasn't even directed at us because there was there's a lot of things going on, and so we don't belong. Like, we are not a part of this team. We are add-ons last minute because we were able to help out with finishing up the whole thing, the for the week. And this is like a week long. This is Sunday to Saturday. Was
Yeah,
it Sunday to
it was a
Sunday?
long time,
Was
I
it
do
Sunday to
remember
wait,
that.
maybe was it Monday to Sunday, or was it
I don't
Sunday
know,
to
it was like
Saturday?
5 days. I remember it being long, like, wow,
Okay,
where?
first, it ended up only being 6 days because everybody left early. So,
Yes.
everybody left early, like, we all left early, but that was beside the point. Um, but I got to meet people that I had seen videos of, and
Mhm.
I that was the first time I got to see community. That was
Yeah.
the first time I got to understand what it meant to be a Scentsy consultant with a group of people, because
Mhm.
as of this is have been over a year, since I had started. I had not seen another Scentsy consultant face to face
crazy.
the whole time except for my sponsor.
Oh my
Like,
god.
except I had my teamies, but they were people I knew and we would get on Zoom, so at
Yeah.
least I got to
Yeah.
see them, but, like, I'm talking, like, being around and just being around people because there was men there too. There was husbands, there was 2 or 3,
Yeah.
2 or
Yeah, I
3.
think there was, like, 2 or 3 couples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I got to see, and I was just, like, blown away, and I
Mhm.
was like, "I'm home." Because even as awkward as I am, when you get to talk about something you love with other people that love the same thing, and you guys will find this anywhere if you like love to crochet and you end up being in a room with all these people that are crocheting and they're like, oh my gosh, I learned this new stitch and blah, blah, blah. And I learned how to do this new pattern. Like there's an excitement to
Yes.
find other people that like the weird, odd things that you do. And when you are talking about Scentsy, people will look at you like the weird thing. And it's just, there's something they don't get, but as consultants, we get. And
Yeah.
that was the first time I felt I was at home. And it didn't matter what I was wearing. I mean, we were all wearing like leggings and these shirts and like
Yeah.
even made shirts for the thing. Like we were changing outfits and I wasn't expected. I got a bag. I mean, it was very disorganized the first couple of days. I slept on the couch. Actually, I slept on a blow up mattress on the ground and then I slept on the couch and then some other people got moved around and adjusted and then I finally had a
Oh
bed.
god, we could do a whole other podcast just on that tr
So, it was a lot of fun, like, there was a lot of stuff going on, but at the same time is that we were learning stuff every day, and now I'm sitting there thinking like, "Oh my gosh, SFR is like a week long of just hanging out." Like, this is so cool. I hadn't had, like, a sleepover. You gotta think about it. It is like an amazing sleepover
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
training that didn't happen until Thursday. We had got to see a lot of things, and since I had hit a
Yeah.
director, then we also had director time that there's certain trainings that happen before,
Mm.
SFR starts that the leaders get to see, so I got to sit in on that, and I was so proud to be there for my first time as a director, being around other directors, getting to watch even though it was a training that was just recorded and online.
Right.
It was so nice to be around other people that had understood what it means to be at this
Yeah,
title, to understand who like, it's not something that is just given out, it is something you earn, and I still have the, um, the
oh, the
the
sash.
sash
Yeah.
that says director,
I love it.
um, and that honestly, that changed my entire perspective of Scentsy because any of the 2020 babies, that signed up all understand what I talk about when we didn't have anything. We had no
Yeah.
SFR, we had no world tours. So I missed 2 SFRs in person, even though I had one that was a virtual
Mhm,
retreat, and 2 world tours.
mhm.
Maybe I can't remember if they did that world tour in 2022. Maybe they did. Maybe that's when they started back.
It
So
might.
my journey, like I didn't even understand what community was, and I wouldn't have even been able to find community because everything was shut down.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but as the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything on my journey, I will tell you that I I think I honestly look at this and that I have made some amazing friends.
yes, yes.
I have tried things that I have never done before. We started this podcast.
Yep.
It wasn't long after because I was doing the trainings. I was doing a weekly training for my team and then I was sharing it out and I was inviting people into the team page so they could watch the trainings because I didn't know how to get it to them. And then Jackie's like, put that stuff on YouTube. I'm like, but I don't have anybody who's gonna follow me. And she goes, so when they do, there'll be a whole bunch of videos. And guys,
Right.
if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, I started with 0 followers, just like everybody else.
Mhm.
And this has grown. And where's it at? And I have had over 30 people since November
Wow.
subscribe to me on YouTube because I was able to go to director boot camp. And again, my I didn't think anybody watched this. Like, I didn't think anybody would watch this. I didn't know if anybody like not even the podcast, like just my videos. So doing the
Yeah,
podcast, I was like, this is a way for us as best friends to be able to chit chat for an hour over something that we love, over the
yeah,
business that we've built all differently and getting a different perspective from someone else who understands and can give experience on their journey.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times that I've messaged Jacqui and been like, "Okay, I really wanna do this, but I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I need it to." I've looked at all these videos and Jacqui has
Right.
a way of explaining it, and it's like, "Oh, okay, I got it. Like, I get it now. So it's just this." And she's like, "Yeah, it's really, it's an easy concept, but until someone explains it to you and breaks it down for you."
Yeah.
And that's why you need to have people, different people, multiple people talk about the same thing. I
Yeah.
mean, our journeys are our journeys, and I am so I'm so glad, grateful, and then proud of myself that I've stuck this out. Like,
Yes.
just like Jackie said, I don't know how many times I just wanted to quit, and I've had to. I've done that. I've been there of like,
Mm.
is this worth it? But then I think about my customers, and I think about the people that I help, and I think about the non-team members that I help with Scentsy,
Mhm.
and the team members that do need help. They know that the minute that they message me that they're going to get whatever assistance, no matter what my mood is, or no matter what my feeling is about am I staying or am I leaving, they're going to get
Mhm.
help. And I don't think I would have had the amount of confidence or the amount of doing it scared without the community,
Yeah.
without the people that I've met and the people that I absolutely love that bring me joy. I don't think I would have had that if I hadn't have taken that one moment of just saying yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, my life will be changed forever because no matter what, I mean,
Mhm.
I get to see my girls every year.
Mhm.
And we keep talking about planning another trip and we try, but then life happens, guys.
Life happens,
Life
yes.
happens. And if we lived a little bit closer, we would try to
Yeah.
hit world tour.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to figure out 1 year about doing it in the middle, like figuring out what's the middle. And I think Oklahoma City or some like Oklahoma may be close, or
It's a really good idea, actually. I like
like,
that.
and doing since it's on a Saturday, like coming in Thursday night, getting a
Yeah.
whole day of being together and then doing it and then leaving out on Sunday.
Mhm.
Because if it's in the middle, we could possibly drive,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that way we wouldn't have to fly.
Mhm.
But we may have to think about that of finding somewhere in the middle. And it's gonna be hard because, of course, we have Waxy Cats that's way on that West Coast out in Cali.
No, that dang
There's
California.
nothing close in between us. But if I don't know if it's official yet. So, if she's busy on certain world tour dates, then we probably wouldn't be able to do that anyways.
Mhm.
Um, and you too, are you I don't know, are
I
are
am not presenting this year, no.
okay,
I did not sign up to present,
okay.
no. Mm.
I didn't wanna give anything away. I don't know, has she publicly said
Waxy
anything?
Cats is presenting, yes, she has
But did she present no, did she actually publicly say?
yeah, I think so. I think so. And
You
if not,
sure?
then it said, "I've now cat's out of the bag."
I know she sent us a message, but I didn't know because a lot of times she has to wait because she may submit it, and there's always one of those. They're still waiting. There's still a process of being like, yes, you're selected. Um, so I don't know. I think it's beneficial. I just don't know if it was. I don't know if she told us she was wanting to do it or whatever. But anyways, she has like
Yeah.
grown as she's grown as
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
she is another one, like, she started in 2022, and it's, like, her journey we'll have to get her to do a video on it one time of her whole journey because she started after me, I think. Wasn't
I
she
think so.
October of 2020?
I think so, yeah.
It's like
Yeah, I think
October of
it's later on.
2020,
Yeah.
and then I was May of 2020, so we're both
Mhm.
hitting our 5-year next year, or this
Yeah.
year, sorry.
Sure.
This
Yeah.
year, we are hitting 5 years, so when we go to SFR, we will be walking the stage for our 5-year anniversary.
It's so exciting.
And, you know, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But, that's just a little bit so, I mean, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize what time it was.
Oh, I didn't either. Oh, look at that.
So, just to kind of wrap it up is like your journey is kind of your journey, and it's gonna be different for every single person. We all sign up for different reasons. For me, I needed a job. I needed something to do. I needed some money coming in. And what better is it than to sell something and get a commission off of it that, I mean, that's the amount. I mean, you can calculate your paycheck down to the penny off of yours. It's a little bit harder whenever you are working with a team because there's a whole bunch of stuff. That's why um, I know there's math wizards out there that can do it all.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then you have Jacqui that signed up with the community that
Yeah.
it was something that, she needed.
Mhm.
And I didn't know I needed Jacqui, but I knew that she was amazing and I was so grateful. Like I was really it's tough to meet someone who is so popular. I mean, now I'm part of her security team.
Yes,
So
yeah.
I did get hired on, but I never got paid for the last 2 years.
Oh,
3
don't worry,
years.
I'll pay you. I'll
3
pay you.
years. Like, it's been a while now. So this next year, I keep talking about this, and so when we get closer, to SFR, I'm definitely getting a contract signed. I'm gonna have you guys watch her sign it, on air, so we know if I do security, this is what I'm getting. I mean, I do get
Yes.
full access to her, and, I do get to sleep in her room. I get to
That's true, that's true.
I don't
Yes.
get to share her bed, but that's okay. Robin and I get to share beds.
I'll share it with the cat.
So you share it with the cat. Yeah. I love it. But just, so you never know what someone needs. You never know what someone, and honestly, you never know what someone can afford. If they had never asked me, because I was looking for a job, if they never
Mhm.
asked me, if it was never brought up to me, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
And, just to kind of wrap it up is that we have the $20 join, you have the $59 hostess kit, and you have the $99 kit. We've
yeah,
all signed up with different ones. It's all different. Every time it changes something, but you just never know what someone needs. So
yeah,
when you think about talking to your customers, your friends, or anybody, and you're wanting to know why people join, ask them, like, why do
yeah.
you need this? Do you need it? And sometimes you need to tell them, like, if you're just looking for a community, you're just looking for
Mhm.
a paycheck. Maybe they're looking to travel. Maybe they're looking for friendship. I mean, I'm an empty nester now, and I'll tell you what, if if this had been now that I was starting, man, because like I would be all back invested in everything. I've
Yeah,
picked up like 5 other side jobs right now, so I'm a full time student. I picked up something else there, but our journeys are all our own, and you just never know what impact your
yeah.
question can make on someone. So
I mean, I never would have guessed that 13 years later, I would still be just as involved with Scentsy. Well, I'm even more involved with it than even I was when I hit the join button, right? I mean, like, I never in my wildest dreams would have thought that I'd grow a team. I'd never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd be sitting here on a podcast. I never would have met Texas. I never would have met Robin. I never would have met Wax. Like, and I look at my life now and I'm like, these are my people. And if I didn't have Sensi, I wouldn't have these
these
people.
people, yeah,
What would I do? I don't even know what I would be doing. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Um, I really I feel very blessed that we have what we have, and it is all because of Sensi. So,
yeah, and people, you come in on the time that's perfect for you.
mhm,
And you can look back at your journey and you can look at all the great things or all the bad things and you can make the decision on how your journey went, but your journey is going to be yours. And, honestly, if you're not finding joy in it, I get it. But
yeah,
there's just so much that you can involve or not be involved in. Like it doesn't, the way that I run my team and the way that I run my YouTube and everything else is so much different than how Jacqui and how Robin and how Lisa does all of their stuff. Like we are all different in every single way, and we still have that connection, and we still have the the closeness of being able to talk to somebody
yeah,
about Cincy without
yeah.
being weird. Like we're all a little odd anyways, but then when you add in Cincy and then we get the get the giggles. And trust me, if you walk by our hotel room during SFR, we do, like, I can't even tell you how much we are laughing, and then all of a sudden it just stops and we're all like and we're all out.
We just pass
We're
out.
just out. Like it is literally we are laughing, 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 and then it's just dead silent with rain coming in there. You'll think that there's always rain. There's always rain. But this is how our stuff goes. And
Yeah.
I this is this is just another journey. So guys, so we'll kind of close it out. I am Cassie Bollinger.
I'm Jacqui Duran.
And this is Who Knows Best podcast. This is 2025. This is our second episode of the year. And just know that we love you. So if you haven't heard today, we love you. You are strong. You are important. And you can do this business. I hope that your journey is as exciting as ours. So until next week, we'll see you later.
Bye.